These selfless deeds are motivated by empathy and compassion. We help others because we genuinely care about their well-being and want to alleviate their suffering. However, the act of helping others also provides us with a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. Seeing someone benefit from our actions can evoke positive emotions and enhance our sense of purpose. Our actions are often guided by our moral values and principles. We perform good deeds because we believe it's the right thing to do. Acting in accordance with our values can reinforce our self-identity and integrity. It can also bring us a sense of pride and contentment, knowing that we're living up to our ethical standards. Humans are social beings. Our actions are influenced by the desire for social approval and recognition. Acts of kindness and generosity can enhance our reputation and social standing, even if we're not explicitly seeking rewards. The positive feedback and admiration from others can provide us with a sense of validation and belonging. Sometimes we help others with the understanding that they might help us in return in the future. This principle of reciprocity is a fundamental aspect of human social interactions. While the immediate act may appear selfless, the anticipation of future benefits introduces an element of self-interest. Engaging in selfless deeds can contribute to our personal growth and fulfillment. Acts of kindness can foster a sense of connection, empathy, and gratitude. They can also help us develop qualities such as patience, resilience, and humility. These personal gains, while not the primary motivation, are significant benefits of altruistic behavior. The paradox of altruism lies in the fact that even our most selfless acts can have elements of self-interest. This doesn't mean that our actions are purely selfish, but rather that they're influenced by a combination of altruistic and self-interested motives. Recognizing this complexity can help us to develop a more nuanced understanding of human behavior. Does this mean that we can never commit a truly selfless deed? It depends on how we define selflessness. If we insist on absolute purity of motive, then I would say no. True selflessness is probably unattainable. However, if we acknowledge that human actions are inherently complex and multifaceted, we can appreciate the value of deeds that are primarily motivated by altruism, listening to others, understanding their perspectives, and sharing their emotions. Empathy can motivate us to help others and foster a sense of connection and compassion. Identify your core values and principles and strive to align your actions with them. Acting in accordance with your values can bring a sense of integrity and fulfillment. Focus on the intrinsic rewards of helping others, such as the joy of making a positive difference and the satisfaction of contributing to the greater good. These intrinsic rewards can be powerful motivators. Recognize the importance of self-care and ensure that your altruistic actions don't come at the expense of your own well-being. Taking care of yourself enables you to help others more effectively. Appreciate the value of small acts of kindness and generosity. These everyday actions can have a significant impact on the lives of others and contribute to just an overall more compassionate world. Promote a culture of generosity and kindness in your community. Encourage others to engage in acts of altruism and make sure to recognize those contributions. Even if true selflessness is unattainable, the pursuit of altruistic behavior is immensely valuable. Acts of kindness and generosity enhance our connections with others. They build trust and they strengthen social bonds. They contribute to a more compassionate and supportive society. Moreover, altruistic behavior has positive effects on our mental and emotional well-being, fostering a sense of purpose and fulfillment. It's also worth noting that the impact of our actions on others is not diminished by our motives. Whether an act is driven by pure altruism or influenced by self-interest, the positive effects on the recipient remain the same. Helping someone in need, offering support, or showing kindness can have profound and lasting impacts, regardless of the underlying motivations. So in conclusion, the question of whether we can ever commit a truly selfless deed is complex and nuanced. While absolute selflessness may be an unattainable ideal, this does not diminish the value of altruistic behavior. Our actions are influenced by a variety of motives, but what matters is the intention to benefit others and the positive impact that we create. Rather than striving for perfect selflessness, we can embrace imperfect altruism. We can cultivate empathy, act in accordance with our values, seek intrinsic rewards, and balance self-care with generosity. By doing that, we contribute to a more compassionate and connected world, and we enhance our own sense of purpose. Ultimately, it's not necessary to be entirely selfless in order to act in ways that are not selfish. We can acknowledge the complexity of our motivations and still strive to make a positive difference in the lives of others. Let's continue to act with kindness, compassion, and generosity, and let's celebrate the imperfect yet profoundly impactful next time.